we hate dumb competition. And hedge fund managed money, but particularly hedge funds, have entered the insurance and more particularly probably the reinsurance business quite aggressively in the last few years. For one thing, it gives them a chance to have a beard, in effect, to operate in Bermuda or someplace where the tax rates are low and where they defer their own income from U.S. income taxes for a long time, and it's a perfectly respectable beard, and it can be sold to investors. And people talk about it, being an uncorrelated type of operation and all of that. Anything Wall Street can sell, it will sell. I mean, you can count on that. And
They like big words too.
yeah, and it's very saleable now, and the money will flow in, and the money may bring down prices. It may do stupid things in reinsurance, but that's happened before. And in the end, we know what we're willing to do. We know what we think the prices should be, and we will do insurance business where we think that the odds favor us earning an underwriting profit. And if we can't do it, we'll watch for a while. You can't afford, to go along with the crowd in investment or insurance or a whole lot of other things. And it can be irritating to have a dumb competitor. I mean, if you've got a service station on a corner and you got a guy across the street that is willing to sell gas below full cost, you've got a terrible problem. That's why I got out of the gas station business a long time ago. But insurance, nice thing about it is the standby costs are not huge. So it's not like idling steel plants or something. So we were perfectly willing in the 1980s to have our expense ratio go up significantly because our volume went down so dramatically. And, it was a standby cost that was real, but it wasn't backbreaking, and we just waited for better days, and they came along.
Yeah, and with our cranky, waited out methods, we probably have ended up with the best large-scale casualty insurance operation in the world.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So why would we change?
We never really anticipated it would happen, though, when we started in.
That's true.
Yeah, it just sort of evolved. But the principles were useful, and then we were very lucky in getting some sensational people. We've got Ted Montrose at Gent Re, we've got Ajit Jain, we've got Don Worcester, we've got Tony Nicely at Geico. I mean, we have just hit the jackpot in terms of the people, and they like the environment of Berkshire in which to operate because they do not get pressures to do dumb things, which they would get at many other places. I really do think that Berkshire is an unusually rational place. I mean, we know what we want to accomplish. We've had the benefit of a very, very long run, and we've had the benefit of whether you can argue whether it was a benefit or not, but of a controlling shareholder, so we did not have outside influences that pushed us in directions that we didn't want to go. So, insurance should be conducted as a rational activity, and one of the problems that some insurers have had is that they would have a pressure for increasing premium volume every year brought upon by Wall Street. Very few. We actually contracted the business written by National Indemnity, formerly our main business, its traditional business. I think we contracted it probably by 80% or something of the sort when the business became less attractive. I'm not sure any manager of a public company that was answering to quarterly earnings calls and that sort of thing, I'm not sure whether they really could have stood up to the kind of pressure that they would receive if they'd followed a similar policy. If we do something stupid, it's because we did something stupid. It's not, no external factors are pressing on us. And that's a great way to operate. And it'll continue to be the way they operate. Most people, if you own a half of 1% of the company or less, and other people are doing things that Wall Street is applauding and you're not doing them, it can be very hard to resist. And you respond to media criticism and all kinds of things. That we don't have to do it. And there's no reason for us to do anything stupid in insurance. You get offered a lot of opportunities to do things that are stupid. We were major writers of natural catastrophe insurance in the United States some years ago when the prices were right. We don't think the prices are right now, so we don't write it. We haven't left the market left us. But we are not about to do something where we get paid 90 cents for running a probabilistic loss of $1. It just doesn't make any sense, and we won't do it. And we don't put any pressure on anybody to do it. And their incomes are not dependent on doing it. So it's not hard to be rational at Berkshire. Charlie?
Yeah, there are pressures on other people that we don't want and therefore don't have. It is very hard to shrink an insurance operation by 80% when the people who come in every day don't have enough to do, and it's a counterintuitive thing to do, but it's absolutely required that you do it in a place where people go as crazy as they do in insurance.
Well, it's like buying internet stocks, in the late 1990s. I mean, all around you have these people that have high IQs, and they're doing it, and they're being successful. And so, everybody from your spouse to your employer to the press says, how can all these other people, how come you think you're so smart, avoiding this when everybody else is doing it and they're making a lot of money? And of course, it creates this social proof where it worked for a while. That's the great danger period in all of these bubbles, is that what starts out with skepticism ends up with your neighbor getting richer than you are because he went along and you didn't. And that sort of thing, the bandwagon effect and everything, those things are very hard to resist. But we don't have any pressures to do that sort of thing. I mean, we just don't give a damn, and we don't necessarily think we're smarter than the other person on that. We just think we don't understand what it's all about. And if they can make a lot of money, day trading or whatever it may be, good luck to them. But we're not envious of them, but we certainly are not going to do it just because they're doing it. Charlie, any more on them?
Oh, I always say there's a reason why all that stuff is in the Bible. You can't covet your neighbor's ass or I mean, they were having trouble with envy a long time ago, and it's a perfectly terrible thing to do. And how much fun can you have being envious? We always say it's the one sin there's no fun in.
Yeah. Gluttony is a lot of fun. Lust has its place too, but we won't get into that. Cliff?